First off, how long have you been working with me? You came to me a couple months ago, and what's that been like?
Uh, there are several words that I could use, but I think I'll go with life-changing. That's
I'll take
probably
that.
the best way to put it, the easiest way. Um, I mean, it's just there was a lot of self-doubt and lack of exploration into, who I was and why I was doing the things that I was doing or wasn't doing the things that I should have been doing. And you really helped me to see more clearly, um, those problem areas in my life and how I could change those things to be the better me. So
How did we do
that's
that though?
lots of different things. NLP was one of the big things. So neuro linguistic programming,
I love it.
um, timeline therapy, just sucking it up and doing it. Really, this is a big part for me. I was terrified to pick up the phone and call people. I don't know why that was. In hindsight, it's just funny to me thinking back to that. But you really encouraged me to sit down and look at all of the problem areas and things that were going on in my life and really look at the purpose behind everything. That was one thing that always struck me when we had conversations, was just talking about, for what purpose, you would always say, for what
Oh, that
purpose?
used to aggravate you so much. I
Yeah, it still
loved it.
does. So you would just dig deeper and deeper and deeper. And sometimes I honestly didn't have an answer. So I had to really think about stuff. And that really got me thinking. And that was probably one of the biggest things that helped
So
me to grow.
perspicacity,
Say again?
perspicacity, just
I don't know that
perspective.
word.
So perspective.
Yes. Perspective.
Would you like to know the reason that I did all that?
Sure.
Well, I think us humans, we need to learn things the hard way. I have so many friends who drink and drive, text, eat tacos, and I know the girls who straighten their hair with a 12-volt plug-in their car. They're driving with the knees right on the steering wheel. And it's like they'll have so many near misses. They'll be going 40 over the speed limit in the 30-mile-per-hour zone, near miss, almost hit a kid. Next day, near miss, almost hit a deer. Next day, near miss, almost run through a house. And it's like when they finally fucking wreck, then they learn and slow their ass down. And it's like, we just helped you. You did the work. I just pointed you in the right direction. You give yourself all the credit, man, because I'm not here to do the work for you. Like, I'll help you do it. But you have to develop the critical thinking skills and the proclivity towards problem solvings and the perspicacity and the infatigability to go the long run and do the things you don't want to do, regardless of how you feel, because it must be done. And so it's like we have to learn things the hard way. You had to look at your problems and confront them. Do you think that's where
Absolutely.
you got the most results?
I think so. And just for clarity, obviously I'm not a perfect person and I still have problems that I'm dealing with and things that I still could grow on. But you've given me that perspective, like you said, to be able to analyze those things and to be able to continue to grow and not just stay stagnant, which I think is where I was at before.
But you are a totally different person from, like, I'm just going to say this straight up, the boy who came to me to being the man. Like, I'll give you guys some context because I watched Adam completely change in 2 days at a live event that I did where a shit ton of people registered, paid thousands of dollars to go, and 3 people showed up.
I was one of them.
Like, people missed flights and said, "Well, I'm not doing this now," or whatever. And it's like a lot of excuses, a lot of wasted money, which I've never paid to do something like that and then just not went. Like, I'm going to get what I pay for one.
Yeah.
It completely blew my mind. Like, we had almost 100 people say they wanted to show up, and 3 actually did. So terrible conversion ratio on my first event. Like, and I don't try to lie about shit. But it's like I watched you change in a matter of 48 hours from going to boy into a man. Like, we walked through the valley of the shadow of death together. And guys, Adam's like girls reject this if it doesn't apply. I watched Adam's balls literally drop 6 inches to the point where he confronted me for littering. I was throwing a bit of plastic out my window, and he says, dude, do you really have to do that? I was like, this dude just fucking checked me. Adam, like, I still have not littered since that day. And I appreciate you for that.
Absolutely.
This is the power that you have over people. This is the power that you have becoming a high value man, a high status man. And so I'm extremely fucking proud of you
Thank you.
because you don't know how influential you can be when you are that convicted. Like, you corrected me, student taught coach. How crazy is that?
I will say one of the things that you've said to me or that I've learned from you that has really stuck with me and been influential in my life is that people aren't thinking about you as much as you think they are. And that's really just changed the way that I look at a lot of things in my life, but just anything that I say or anything that I do, I've always had this thing in the back of my head, oh, what will people think about me? Or what is so and so going to say? But now I've pretty much just come to the point where I'm like, I don't really care what that person thinks or what they say. I'm always open to constructive feedback, but I can choose to accept it or reject it. That's
You're in charge of your life, man. You're the creator, and you can't listen to people with smaller goals for your life than you have and let them influence you. Just reject it because it doesn't matter what they say. It's really just advice they would give to themselves. So, what would you say to someone about working with me?
There's a lot of things I could say.
Like someone on the fence about joining an expensive coaching program, I will say I'm not cheap by any means. I'm the best at what I do. I'm 100% the best at what I do. And you can buy nice or you can buy twice in this world.
Yep.
But what would you say to someone who's thinking about working with me or maybe doesn't believe in what I do? What would you tell them?
Well, I can say from my personal experience, I'll say mortified when Mason told me how much his coaching program costs because I'd never made a purchase like that.
It was over 10 grand.
Yeah.
Well, what's it been worth to you so far? You said it was life-changing.
I told you this in another time that we talked, but I would say you couldn't put a price on it.
I love that, man. I appreciate you.
And just the value that I've gotten from the program and the amount of policies that I've sold because of the program.
Boom! Let's fucking go. Let's go, dude. That's what I'm talking about.
So invaluable would be the word that I would use. But
And
I was personally, I was scared when he first told me. And I really had to think about the situation I was in and how I was stuck in this place that I didn't want to be. And I had somewhere where I wanted to get to, and I didn't know how to get there. And everything else that I had tried for the prior year and a half had not worked for me. And Mason showed me his roadmap of how he could get me from point A to point B. And I just trusted the system. I went all in, and we're getting there. We're getting there. We're on our way.
That's awesome, man. So what has this done for you? Like, has it helped you sell way more policies? Like, you told me you're waiting for roughly 70 something a little over $7,000 a premium, 500 a month to issue pay. Like, you do 1 or 2 months of that, like you can pay this off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you've already made enough to pay it off. So what else has this done for you besides helping you make money and finding your own rinse and repeat system where you can get clients on demand? What has this done for you personally? Because the money's cool, but if you don't know how to manage it or you're not happy as a person, that's what matters to me, is knowing that I helped change Adam's life. He's a better husband. He's a better father. He's a better man. That's what's important to me. And to see you grow into that it's fucking life-changing for me as well, Adam. So I appreciate what you've done for me.
Absolutely. I feel like one of the biggest things that it's done for me is it's given me a really big confidence boost, just in everyday situations, but also on the phone, talking with people. And I'm still working on this, but getting to the point where I just say things flat out how they should be and not trying to beat around the bush with things. Because I have found, at least in insurance, when you beat around the bush, doesn't always go the way you want it to, or you tend to let things go that you shouldn't, or you lose the sale. And so I have found that being more direct with people and just telling them how it is, people appreciate the honesty, but then also you get what you want more often than not. So that's been really cool.
And what has this done for your marriage, being a father? Like, what other aspects of life has this affected? Because that's the craziest thing about my coaching is it's for insurance agents, but behind that license is a father, a mother, a brother, a sister, like whoever you are as a person. That's what I'm more concerned with. So, what has this done for areas outside of business, like fatherhood, marriage? What has this done for you in those areas?
Sure. So to give some background, I have been married for 4 years. We've got two little girls. One just turned 3 a couple days ago, and the
Happy
other
birthday.
one, thank you. I'll let her know. And the other one is about to be 9 months old in a few days. So, I got into insurance almost 2 years ago. It was April of 21, and just didn't really have a direction that I was going. And I wanted to be at home so that I could help out with the baby at the time. And I just found myself being too caught up in everything that was going on at home that I wasn't really dedicating the time that I should have to the work aspect. And sometimes I still do, but I'm better at it now. But in the sense that it's your coaching program has given me the perspective of setting priorities and not necessarily setting goals, but setting a vision for yourself of where you want to be and why you want to be there, and what the purpose behind everything is. So now I've started to make a schedule for myself. And a part of that schedule outside of just work stuff is factoring in time to take care of my girls, whether that be getting them ready in the morning, feeding them lunch, making dinner, whatever. Making time to spend time with my wife, making sure that we go out on dates, have one-on-one time, just things like that. Those have really helped to better my work life and also my personal life, because they're kind of meshed together. There's no real separation of both because this is where I live, right? So it's helped me to blend the two together in a way that works.
That is awesome, man. And that makes me so much more convicted because I get messages all the time now. Hey, just sold a policy. Hey, just sold a policy. You see them in the group, you see the screenshots. Like, I hope a lot of people make a lot of money in this career, in this industry. But to know that, hey, my kids actually respect me now. Hey, my wife respects me. Or hey, my husband is so much more receptive to me. Like, seeing people make real life changes is where I get the most value in being a coach because I know behind that license, like I said, people are becoming the best versions of themselves. I don't really care how much money you make because if you don't have the skills to manage it, you'll burn through it. You'll waste it. If you're unhealthy, you'll spend it all on doctor's visits. You'll spend it all on bad habits. We've gotten rid of some pretty bad shit in your life, and I'm so
Yeah.
fucking proud of you, dude. Seriously, that's a story for you to share on your own time. But I'm just saying, you've got a $1 billion story, and I cannot wait to see the amount of people that you impact when you're ready to let that come out.
Thank you.
So just future pacing that way people can get a little curious, like, what's Adam hiding? Because I'm telling you, people will get pissed off or they will get inspired. And either one you get, it doesn't matter because you are you as a person. And I'm fucking proud of you, dude. You've earned it. You've
Thank you.
became the man you want to be, and you're always going to become a better man. And that's where I get the value out of this. So, Adam, I really want to take the time to appreciate you for spending a lot of money on me and yourself and investing in both of us because I've actually got a pretty good friendship with you now. Like, you sent me raw liver for you were the only person who sent me a Christmas present. And I was like, I changed this dude's life. Like, thank you so fucking much, dude. But I appreciate you seriously, man. And that the relationship is worth more than any dollar amount you could ever give me. So, Adam, thank you for being a blessing in my life, and thank you for allowing me to be a blessing in yours.
Absolutely. And
Seriously,
thank
from man to
you.
man.
Yeah, because I mean, outside of just the paying you money, it was a huge investment in myself, and I don't I can tell you for sure I've never made an investment that big in myself before ever. Maybe a couple $100 here and there, but nothing over $1,000. So being able to say that I've invested a large sum of money in myself to better myself, and to have you alongside me for the journey is something that I'm very proud of. So thank you for that.
Well, dude, you'll be on pace to make $1 million if you just keep getting better in the next like 5 years.
That's right.
Not even fingers crossed, dude. Look at the progress you're making. You will continually you'll continually increase your earning capacity to a point where it's unreasonable to not get where you want. And you can give these same skills that you bought and paid for, because how long would it have taken you to learn all this shit on your own?
Years.
And if you make 100,000 a year, it would have cost you way more than even paying me to learn it, right?
That's true.
Exactly. People don't make the comparison between price and what it's going to cost you not to do it to know how to get to where you want to go. So that, like, it's just logic for me.
I think about that a lot with smaller things. Like last night, my wife, we had a pack of corn tortillas. And she said, we could make some tortilla chips with this, right? I was like, yeah, we could spend an hour frying tortillas, making tortilla chips, or we could go spend $2 at the grocery store in 5 minutes and then eat those. So it's the same concept.
I think she just wanted to do something with you right there. So sometimes you got to, dude, sometimes you got to make the sacrifice. You're like, you know what? Like, I'll get to do something with her. I won't have to listen to her complain about eating. Like, let's do it, babe.
No, that would be totally on me. 100%.
But no, that's cool, dude. So let's get into branding yourself.